Hello and welcome to podcast. I'm excited for this short episode today because it's just a message that I have kind of taken in recently and I wanted to share. So, in regards to finding more energy when you are feeling depleted or when you're feeling tired or when you just kind of are not interested, it's that actually a feeling of disconnection versus being low energy. I mean, you can call it low energy, but when you kind of think of it in a way where the connection is not there. So, okay, let's do this. Let's compare ourselves to a plug that we plug in the wall and we obviously need to charge up sometimes in order to gain more energy. So you can compare us to a battery or something that we can charge up. But that's how we work is we are energy. People are energy. And I've talked about energy a lot on the podcast. And I think I've mentioned before that I probably can talk. I don't know. Maybe I should start calling my podcast something like Cassie Energy Cassie, or just I don't know. Doesn't have to have my name in it, I guess. But in regards to obtaining more energy, a lot of times we forget that we have to literally take ourselves and plug ourselves in. And what does that look like in real terms versus this metaphor that we're talking about being batteries or being cords to plug in the wall to turn the light on or whatever it is? Well, it looks like taking a step that like in my life, I know for me, when I need more energy, I kind of have to like push myself past that just like point of not wanting to get up or not wanting to go to the gym or not wanting to whatever it is that I'm about to expel my energy on. I'm turned off by that because I'm like, I don't have energy. So why should I go expel energy if I don't have it? So recently I just kind of had this happen where I didn't have energy in the morning, and then I went and I work at a COVID testing center. And that day I was like, you know what? I really want to talk to people and just connect with them, even though I'm sitting there in like a mask and goggles, and it's really boring. It's really boring. But the only thing that I have is people coming in front of my face, swabbing their noses real pretty. And I can just say, hey, how's it going? And so the other day I was starting conversations with people and giving them my energy. Even though I was low energy, I was giving them my energy, and in return, I felt like I got double the energy back. So that's basically what I'm trying to say here is when you feel like you don't have energy, give some and you'll get even more back. And that's not to say like if you are depleted and you haven't rested in days or you're overworking, like please take a goddamn rest. But if it's just kind of like a random Wednesday and you're just like, coffee's not doing it for me today, or maybe you don't drink coffee or whatever it is, you're just kind of that midday slump or you're just feeling low. Think about how you can give out some energy, because when you give it out, it comes right back to you double time, in my experience at least. So instead of thinking about before going to the gym, okay, I have all this energy that I'm gonna have to be giving. And I know that we don't necessarily consciously think about that, but that's basically what we're thinking when we're like, I don't feel like going because it's gonna be hard. Our bodies are gonna just be tired and it's like work. But when you think about it in a way where you're plugging yourself in and you're actually going to be obtaining more energy from just giving a little bit of energy by walking through those doors, and then whatever it is that you do at the gym or whatever, even going for a walk, honestly, that's a good example because it's not extreme when you walk, it's fine on the joints and it's nothing crazy, and everyone can walk that is able-bodied. Or even if you are in a wheelchair, you can go outside, because honestly Mother Nature is life-giving and it does plug in. It's a good outlet, literally, like where we can plug ourselves into to obtain more energy. And we forget that a lot. The simplest things we forget, And energy is what we run on and what life is. It's everything. Energy is everything. Everything is energy. Energy is everything. And when we are able to recognize when we are low energy, that we just have to give a little bit in order to obtain so much more, it will help us in that mindset when we don't feel like whatever it is that we want to do. So like I said, it doesn't have to be talking to people, but if you're in a situation where you're working around people and you don't have the means to just like stop and work out or like go to Mother Nature for event sesh, use the people for, they have energy that it's just such a cool thing when you think about, like, every single person is made up of energy and you can use them. I mean, obviously, like, don't be using people for their energy, but you can. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't use them. And I'm not telling people to use people, but there's a connotation when you say use, but I am saying to use their energy. You know what I mean? I'm kind of talking in circles, but I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. Am I right? Because when I decided that day, because the first day that I worked there, or the week before, I was just low energy and I barely said a word to anyone, and I just felt really drained at the end of the day. And then when I had a day where I actually engaged with others, I left feeling so energized. Isn't that crazy though? Your state of mind will allow you to have more energy in the same situation or to have less energy in the same situation. The same exact situation. And that's just like from person to person. One person can love, let's think of an example. One person can love, I don't know, let's say hula hooping. One person can love hula hooping and just thrive and like freaking love it and just do it all day and feel so energized from it. Yet another person can hula hoop and just get so frustrated that they give up and actually leave the hula hooping session more pissed off. So think of your day as a hula hooping session. Are you going to be really frustrated at the end of the day that you just couldn't get it and it just wasn't working for you? Or are you going to laugh at yourself when it drops? Are you going to have fun when people walk by and say, hey, how long you been hula hooping for? Can you teach me how to hula hoop? It's all about how you create your experience in order to have more energy at the end of the experience, whatever it is. Literally, you can take this as your entire day. How are you plugging yourself in throughout the day? I recommend once a day plugging yourself in whatever way that you can. This might look like a nature walk. It might look like 10 minutes of stretching. It might look like 10 minutes of journaling. It might look like an hour of working out. It might look like an hour of resting. Whatever it is that you need, because it's not what I do. It might be, but okay, my video got cut off, but we're back. So, like I was saying, we just need to understand what helps us recharge. We have to understand that in order to recharge ourselves. Because if we think that working X amount of hours and eating X amount of whatever, bananas or calories or fruit or vegetables or whatever it is, if we are just kind of like set in our ways without reevaluating them and we're depleted all the time, that's a sign to reevaluate yourself and where you are plugging yourself in, or maybe where you need to unplug yourself from, because there are things that we can really truly drain ourselves with, and a lot of times it becomes our jobs and what we do for work, because we eventually start having the state of mind that you have to be there and that you don't want to be there and that you kind of have to force yourself to be there. And so the energy starts to be depleted over time. I know that's what happens for me, especially when I work for someone else. It's really, really hard for me to be at a job for an extended period of time. I think my longest time was about 6 years, maybe 5 years. But I just get to a breaking point where my energy is drained, because when I show up, it's like I'm pulling from this part of me that's like just like survival mode, And it's important to understand when that happens, before you get to that point, so you don't get fired like I do. like I do. I don't get fired, but I did get fired. That's a thing of the past, okay, people? It's a thing of the past. Yes, I do work part-time at a COVID testing center right now, but it's very independent and it's very much so nothing that I'm going to get fired from because it's very temporary too, which is nice. And I also love fitness. I also love fitness, by the way, if you didn't know that about me. No, I just love teaching fitness. So that's another one of my jobs, but I like to do that on my own terms pretty much. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling here, but that's basically my message for today. It is to truly look at, and you can even just start with how you feel. If you're feeling really tired, just come back to this episode and be like, okay, all right, I just need to remind myself that I think I'm plugging myself into too many places, or maybe I'm not plugging myself in enough to the right places. And it's not necessarily about being like, okay, is this right or wrong for me? It's what makes you feel in alignment, and it's what literally lights you up. That's what we need more in this world, is you lit up, all of us lit up from doing what we love, because that is going to help other people do that. And then that's going to help other people do that. And it's going to be creating a ripple effect of positive change and helping people understand that they have courage inside of them to use to go after wild dreams that they never thought that they can do until maybe they saw you doing something a little bit different, or maybe saw you reaching for the stars a little bit as well, or reach for the moon. And if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Is that it? Whatever. Reach, man. I'm telling you to reach. And I'm telling you to do it not just for yourself, but to also help inspire other people to do the same. Because the way we show up in our lives basically gives other people a subconscious permission slip to do that for themselves. And how cool is that? Because I know I do that when I see someone else dancing like a wild person on Instagram or out in the woods taking photo shoots. I don't know who does that. I do that. But when I see other people do things that are like out of my comfort zone or maybe out of their comfort zone, I'm like, okay, it gives me this permission subconsciously to do exactly what I want to do and to follow my bliss, no matter what that looks like for me. And that's such a beautiful thing that we can do for ourselves and each other. So when it comes to energy, what you put out, you get back. Except I really do think we get even more back than what we give. I really do. The more we give, the more we do truly get. Truly, truly. Truly, truly, truly. Truly, truly. So that's my message for you today. I hope it resonated. I hope it rang a bell. I hope it inspired something in you. If you enjoyed it, please tag me on Instagram. And you can even write about it. You can screenshot it and be like, hey, listen to this episode if you're looking for a little pick-me-up. That would just make my freaking day. Reviewing me is always like the best thing ever. That's like a Christmas gift. A really nice Christmas gift, not like socks that you were kind of like expecting that you get every year. That unexpected gift of maybe that new technology that just came out, it's like something special. That's how a review feels for me. So I appreciate that if you do that for me, if this resonates and if you like listening to me talk. So if you're listening on any podcast streaming podcast platform, just know you can watch this on YouTube as well, because I did record a video. We got a little hiccup in the middle of that, but it's all good now. It's all good. And if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to stream it if you don't feel like staring at me all day, even though I know it's a fun sweater. I'm wearing a nice colorful sweater today and I'm in really good spirits. It's a new moon, so I'm just feeling that new moon energy. It's intense in a really, really good way. And I hope you are feeling this really beautiful, intense energy in a really, really good way. I wish you the best. I hope all is well. Reach out to me if you need anything at all. Email me right now at cassandradesaro@gmail.com. I've mentioned I have hello@cassiadesaro.com, but we are going with cassandradesaro@gmail.com right now because I'm in between all this website email crap. So thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.